Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Game for August 2015. You'll notice that this is a little bit different from usual.
You said.
2015, I said 2015.
Yeah.
Update 1.4, the next
Yes.
big thing on the menu, has changed. A lot of people would have thought that would be survival, but we have to change a few things.
Yeah.
Right?
Turns out
Okay.
it's not.
It's not. Okay. So here's the plan. So update 1.4 is coming in October.
In October. Yes.
Survival will be out later in the year.
Survival will be out later, exactly. So that's the big thing. We are actually separating survival from update 1.4. They should have been released in the same time. We are actually going to push survival and have just update 1.4 come out in October.
Yes. And I mean, this is important. Last week, you would have remembered that we talked about a lot of the issues that are in the game, of which there are many, you guys know.
Yep.
We can't wait any longer to take care of those, right? We need to get those things sorted before we release new content.
Yes.
We don't want that new content to have those issues.
Yep.
And we don't want the core game that we
Yep.
have right now to have those issues,
Yep.
because we want to get back to making the Division really fun in the end game experience, because, and we've talked about this a lot on the stream, 1 to 30 feels great.
It does.
And then you hit 30 and something changes. We need to fix that, and obviously a few other things as well. There's bugs, there's some quality of life things. We'll talk about those in a second. But just so you know, to reiterate, the next patch, the next update is going to be update 1.4, which will fix a lot of the core issues in the game.
Yeah. So
Probably not all, just for expectations, but we want to focus on really improving the core of the game before we move on to new content, which would be survival, the next one. But Marky was saying that they want it now. I totally agree. Like, in an ideal world, all of the fixes that we're working on could come right now.
Yeah.
But we need to focus on making them good. That's
Yeah.
we can't rush these things out just because I want them now too.
And
but
also, and also the thing is that there have been things that we've addressed with trying to, in terms of balancing mostly, and even in bug fixing, that we've tried to address as fast as possible, which means that we had some tweaks, some balancing tweaks, some small bug fixes here and there that were not always addressing the big picture. No, that's what we want to do. We want to look at the big picture, the whole experience, the entire fun aspect of the game, and all these kind of things. We don't want to try to go too fast and actually just fix the small things here and there, or the small symptoms. We actually want to fix the whole system.
Exactly, because I mean, what we've done in the past, like you said before, is a few tweaks to a few little things. But and I think you guys agree, and I know that you do. The issues that we have right now are not with one, like little individual packets of issues, right? And you can't just go and fix one, fix another one.
Yep.
We need to focus on how those all interact. For example, enemy scaling and how it affects ammo and how it affects everything, right? Especially at level 35 when things have become inflated to the point where the system doesn't work.
Yeah.
Not just the one feature, but the system.
One very quick thing, I see people saying, does that mean it's going to be November for PS4? No, update 1.4 will be a free update, and it will be releasing at the same time for everyone.
Yeah, free update.
Free update.
All right,
Yeah.
say it again. Free update 1.4 in October for everyone on all platforms at the same time. We really wanted to have a conversation with everyone about how we move through this process, because it is a process, right? We can't just show up on Monday, make all the fixes, and deploy it on Thursday. It's going to be longer than that, and it's going to be a lot better than that.
Yeah.
And we want people to be involved in that process. And we'll talk a little bit about this in a moment, but I also wanted to say, and I talked about this earlier with you, the conversation since last week's State of the Game has been so constructive and awesome, so thank you, everyone in the community, for taking part in that. It's been cool. Anyway, cool. We'll get back to that in a sec.
So just also, I want to reiterate on the fact that, because I see a lot of people saying, are they going to nerf this, are they going to nerf that, or are they going to buff this or that? Again, the point of 1.4 is going to be to address, again, the big picture. So it's not just going to be about nerfing Sentry or nerfing shotguns, because this is actually the meta right now, and then we end up with another meta. The point of 1.4 is actually to address the overall experience, the entire experience. So there's going to be a lot of tweaks here and there, not just tweaks, but complete, like, even in some cases, almost redesign of some of our features to actually really address the whole experience for everyone. So it's going to be much more than just like buff and nerfs here and there. It's going to be a complete change.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which fixes will be out today? This isn't a today thing.
Nope.
Earlier today, there was a maintenance in which they fixed the Alpha Bridge with the sidearm shotgun and those things. But again, what we're talking about now is a future overhaul of a lot of the in-game systems that are making the game not fun after level 30, and other stuff, and performance and bugs and all these sorts of things.
Just one thing regarding the time to kill and all that. That's again a case of this is not something we are going to approach by saying, okay, we need to nerf the NPCs by or the health of the NPCs by 20% and their damage by 20% or something like that. Again, that's a big picture thing. So what we're looking at is not doing a balancing that is going to be like taking this detail and that detail and trying to fix them individually. We're looking at the balancing, which is a complete overhaul of the whole NPC or actually difficulty scaling of the end game. So it's a big change.
Some of the ones and this is just a small list of some of the ones that we will be tackling in this update 1.4.
Yep.
Weapon skins taking up inventory space. Craft all button.
Yes.
Small thing, but we're getting it.
So a few other examples: buyback option running in the base of operations terminal, or between the base of operation and the terminal.
Yeah. So now you won't have to do the walk. It's a beautiful walk. Don't get me wrong, but walking from the terminal all the way down or all the way up between the base of operations, that's going to be gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we've talked about it. We said, it'd be great if you guys could join us in the conversations on the forums, on Reddit, in Twitch chat like you're doing right now. But we want to bring some people here to help us with update 1.4, so we can get your eyes on it along with ours to do that. Would you like to do that? Is my question. I hope so. Yeah.
I'm doing the chat.
Yanick's my hype man.
Yeah.
But so we will be tomorrow. There's going to be an article up on the website with a bit more information, but we will be taking submissions from the community for people who want to come here to Massive in Malmö, Sweden. So I think it's going to be really cool. What we're going to do is we'll open the submissions tomorrow, I guess around this time tomorrow, about 24 hours from now.
I don't know, tomorrow.
But I'll be on the stream, we'll talk more about that. But
it doesn't matter, because it's not a matter of being the first one to register anyway.
So the divisiongame.com in the news section, I guess, is going to have an article, and there's going to be a link to a survey in there. Sorry, there's a comment on that. I'll get to in a sec. There's going to be a link to a survey in there. We need an application from people who are interested, why you'd be helpful to this whole process. There's a lot of other questions in there. But we want to bring a few people over here and help us test some things. Before I forget, all expenses paid, yes.
Yes, all expenses paid.
We'll pay for it.
Of course.
But someone was asking, reserved for YouTubers, I bet. We'll be inviting, some other people from the community who people have been saying, you should bring this guy, you should bring this guy.
Yeah.
We will bring some people like that, but we also want to make sure that you guys know that this isn't exclusively for people. This isn't a marketing opportunity for us. This is a way to make the game better with you guys. There isn't, people say, a lot, shouting out names of people to bring. But that's not your barrier to entry. I want to be very, very clear. The YouTubers, Twitch people, podcast people, they don't have a monopoly on good ideas.
No.
And they do have them. But we want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity as well.
Yeah.
All right?
Exactly. So it's as much bringing people that actually have an opinion about the game and have good ideas and are willing to talk about it in a constructive manner. It can be negative feedback, that's fine. Just have to be constructive and be willing to actually have discussions here at Massive with other people, other players, but also, of course, with the dev team on very specific topic. It doesn't matter if you're a YouTuber or not. You can have an opinion anyway.
But the other side of that, the feedback, how can everyone else get involved?
So that's the thing. We want to open the discussion to more than just that. This is one example of what we're going to do, but we're going to do much more than that because we want to make sure to listen to all of you guys and not just the ones we're going to invite here. We're going to invite some people here because it's good to have a direct discussion, a direct conversation with people that really, really play the game heavily and that have big opinions. But also we want to open the discussion to everyone. So we're going to open a new section in the forums, in the Division forums, that's called Agent Intel, where we are actually going to create discussions and create topics, and we're going to ask you for your feedback on these specific topics.
Exactly.
So it can be bug related, it can be balancing related, it can be
general experience,
general experience, any kind of discussion. For example, now we are actually going to open one, and when I say now, it doesn't.
Not right now.
It's not a marketing now. Like no, we're opening it, and you go there, it's open. Maybe it's open already. I don't know. But the first one you'll find there when you go to this section will be about bugs. What we're asking you is to give us your top 10 most annoying bugs in the game right now. You start the game, you play the game. What are the top 10 bugs that you think are the most annoying?
Yep.
And we're going to take this list of the top 10 bugs of everyone, put that all together, and make sure that this is how we're going to define our priorities.
We should reiterate. Update 1.4 coming in October is not survival. Survival will be the next update after we do a patch that focuses on a lot of the core issues with the game. Bugs, quality of life, systems. It's going to be great.
We said update 1.4 October. Survival after that. Survival is going to be between update 1.4 and before the end of the calendar year. We don't have anything more precise right now because first we want to make sure we get 1.4 right. And then we will work on survival, and we will make sure that we get also survival right before we commit to a release date. So that's why we're keeping it vague. And last stand, people were asking about last stand. Last stand is going to be, right now we're looking at early 2017.
Yes.
Somebody saying nothing's going to be fixed until October. Yes, we will still have our weekly maintenances and weekly bug fixing. There will be some of the bug fixing that is going to be done during the weekly maintenances, but don't expect anything drastic until October.
I've seen the blind rifle pop up a lot of times. I legitimately don't know if the blind rifle is included in 1.4.
Somebody's asking about Dark Zone, if we have any info on the Dark Zone. That's true, we didn't talk about it. The reason why we didn't talk about it is that it's also something we want to look at, but all the things that are going to be done regarding enemy scaling and all of that in 1.4 are going to have an impact on the Dark Zone and on PvP. So that's the first step of it. And then we will look at the actual balancing of PvP, the actual experience in the Dark Zone or something. But we don't want to work on two things that are actually connected together, but work on them parallelly and then end up with something that doesn't work. So
we'll core systems.
We'll do the core system first, like the enemy scaling, time to kill, all this kind of stuff, which also connects with the actual character power and the power of your character.
Yeah, player scaling is a thing too.
And then it's going to obviously have an impact on the Dark Zone. So we'll make sure that this actually works, and then potentially have another pass on the Dark Zone. Nerf skill up. Somebody's asking
I
us to
agree.
nerf skill up.
We should nerf skill up.
Yeah.
He too good, man.
Nerf the OC excellent.
Also, I think we should cut the stream off so skill up can go to bed.
True.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
And
go to sleep.
Him and all the other OCs that are actually
exactly.
watching
I know a lot
us.
of my Kiwi
sure
friends back home were like, 4 a.m. What are you doing? I'm sorry.